Everything I'm about to state on this video is absolutely false. Damn Fool is a fictional character that feel like his life been cursed, so he's just dropping these videos chronicalizing his life. How y'all doing today? I will like to say that disclaimer, it sets the tone for these videos. And the tone is not always a positive one. I be ready to go off, man, and just take flight. But I gotta drop that disclaimer first and you know, with a short attention span, it kind of hurts the integrity of the information. Cause I'm all over the place, man. I'm a very spontaneous cat. I drop this shit just sporadically as it go. I don't plan it out. And nowadays I can't plan it out. You know what I'm saying? Because say man, these cats got to jump on me, especially that that Covenant cat. Say man, this nigga get the drop on all the news before I even get a chance to even say it out loud. But so yeah, we got to chronicle it. We chronicle this stuff, man, just to kind of like let you know that this ain't no joke, man. The stuff I'm telling you, can be verified if you willing to be patient and use your mind to decipher the information. It's right there. I mean, it ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? It used to be hard. You used to have to just go by what I say, but now you can see this shit. But last night, the video was, it was pretty fucking weak, man. You know what I'm saying? And it was just something I wanted to get off my chest, and I might go back and revisit that. Matter of fact, I know I'm gonna revisit it. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the examples I put up, man, were just some lackluster, top of the brain. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot more stuff out there, man, that you can look at and not to throw nobody under the bus, not to even lie on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Just to look at it and examine what it's saying and say, hey man, if what this dude is saying is true and what he's observing does have value and merit, he does have a reason to be concerned if what he's saying is true. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna take back the accomplishment of all the icons, man, that ever did something in the game, that got skin in the game. They got gypped out of this game, got screwed out of, what they should have been entitled to. You know what I mean? We'll just say, just look at it for what it is, man. And you can find reports, man, that dig into these people information and go a little bit deeper. Like I say, I kind of go off of spirit, you know what I'm saying, and rumors, and I take the rumors that sound like they got some merit and put a little bit of my flavor in with it. So, based off of what I just said, some of these cats, these scientific cats, you can poke holes all through what I just said, man. But I'm not speaking to a person's intellect at the moment. I'm speaking to your spirit. You know what I'm saying? So, the question that an intelligent individual would ask is, how did you get caught up into this bullshit in the first place? Like, why do you even listen to these assholes, man? You know what I mean? Because the average person would just be going on with their life. Well, I am the average person, brother or sister, and I have been going on with my life. You know what I mean? But, I guess we had to start it off by saying, man, in order to, for me to be who I am, and I've always dreamt big. You know what I'm saying? I've always looked at the game, and I could see lanes big as elephants, man. You know what I'm saying? And since I was 9 years old, I've been seeing the entertainment industry for what it is and seeing it for what should be there that wasn't there. And I would go straight to it. I knew, right, just like any other entertainer, you know what I'm saying, think highly of themselves and their skills. I always knew that what I bring to the game was of value. And what I brought to the game was the same thing that Mike brought to the game. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that basically it's a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? And it's taking what's already been done and doing it the way that people that you relate to can can respond, right? So let me give you an example. In music, when you take music, like I say, I'm going off again, so I ain't even supposed to be going this route, but I just want to give you an example of what I mean by saying you don't have to be good to be great. And the thing I'm saying is Michael Jackson. I don't know how good Michael Jackson is sing. I never heard him blow. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's a Luther or you understand or anything like that. But what he did have is a lot of sexual innuendos, right? But to a kid, it's not sexual. You know what I'm saying? To a kid, it's just fucking culture. It's just what goes on in the world. Same thing with James Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like you be listening to these niggas and they hollering shit like hit me and ow and doing all this hollering and screaming and you know what I'm saying? And all this old kind of shit to where it's making the music physical. It's giving the music fingers, man, and hands and grips. And it's making it grab you. You understand? In a certain capacity. So I understood that the ad libs, right? And later on, people started using the ad libs to their advantage. You know, like you would have Master P would use them to his advantage a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Like listen to songs like The Dope Game or make him say, you know, he be, and all this old shit. You know, listen to The Dope Game where he be rapping and he'll be talking under the actual verse. He'll be talking. You know, Dipset, Jim Jones had took advantage of that. He took that to a whole nother level where his whole verse basically was the ad libs. The verse was secondary, the ad libs were first. So Jim Jones took it to a different level. And so not to say that it was better or it was good or anything like that. I'm just giving you an example of you know, taking mediocre, taking a mediocre concept and making it great. You understand what I'm saying? So I knew these things at a very young age. You know what I'm saying? And so I followed that pattern. Being that I followed that pattern, I used to make demo tapes, man. You know, several of them. You know, and you know, you can laugh if you want to, man. But I come from the dinosaur era, and I come from Dallas, Texas, to where you know the music wasn't always as quality, and unquality music can make for a lackluster presentation. You know, your first impression is sometimes your only impression. So I felt more comfortable. My first tape was with a guy, you know, white guy, DJ Wiz. And I keep his name out of the Chronicles, you know. But if you follow the Chronicles, you know, my first time stepping in the studio was with a Consummate Pro. I mean, the music that we was turning out of that particular studio. 2 turntables and a mic, you know what I'm saying? East Coast based studio, East Coast based, you know, concepts and people, you know, a lot of sampling. Hey man, it was head and shoulders above what the people around was doing. So my perception of getting with a producer and allowing a producer to produce your project, he had to have a certain bounce to him. You know what I'm saying? And down south, you know, a lot of people, man, they had to, even before the gangster craze came, man, they just wasn't up to par. You know, the music sounded fuzzy, dirty, the ad libs didn't sound crisp. And I could actually do better taking a beat that's already produced and rapping over it on a karaoke. And that's literally what I was doing, man. I would take a karaoke, take 5 tapes, right, and record a track, put it as the main track, then record an ad lib track, then take that tape, make that a main track, and then record another ad lib, and then make that the main track. You know what I'm saying? And as you do that, man, it waters down. And what it was doing was you would actually end up with a chopped and screwed product. You know what I'm saying? After you keep doing that. So it was funny to me when chopped and screwed became you know, the craze of Texas. I used to laugh and tell my partner all the time, say, bro, we was making screw tapes before Screw. You know, now that all this stuff is happening, you have to wonder, man, did Screw get his whole concept off the Hustlers Out of Dallas concept, man? It's just hard to, just something to make you think. But anyway, man, we would put demos out, man, and throw them all over the place. And what would happen? We would buy a Run DMC album. On the album it would have the address to Profile Records. We send a demo to Profile Records. MC Hammer. We'll send it to Motown Records or whatever MC Hammer was signed to, and basically, year round, man, we would send demos. You know what I'm saying? All over the place, man. Just basically giving demos to Styles. And so we was on to trends really early. We was really on the trends before they actually became trends, man. You know what I mean? So, our place in the game could have been, it could have been monumental, but to say the least, it would have definitely been memorable. Like it would have been, people all over the city would have known that these two cats existed at one particular part of time in the city had it been put out. It ain't a doubt in my mind that would have happened, let alone the state, let alone the region. And I even think the crossover appeal was so good that it could have went anywhere. But needless to say, let's drop that thought and realize that when the hip hop industry made it to Atlanta, right, my whole blueprint, even the word trap, you know what I'm saying? We was using the word trap in 91, 92. So even the word trap had surfaced, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm just enjoying the music and embracing the similarity. Yeah. Yeah. What? Anyway, yeah, man, and embracing the similarities. And just not thinking anything of it, man. But when you start to recognize the similarities, that's when, the religious aspect kicks in and you start thinking that you're sharing rare air. You know what I mean? And you start thinking you're getting signs. You know what I'm saying? That you're doing the right thing and you're going in the right direction. So when you ask why do you listen to these things, hey man, you buy a Tupac album and you hear yourself in the album, you don't think nothing of it. You buy several albums and hear yourself in the album, but then when you pick up a Young Jeezy album and you hear yourself in the Young Jeezy album, you say, man, now they're starting to get a little eerie because Jeezy don't sound nothing like me, man, at all. Matter of fact, I'm jealous of Jeezy because he did what I should have did because the way he rap is the way I talk. You know what I'm saying? The ad-lib, yeah, and hey, and that's right. All that old kind of stuff, man, was genius. And I wouldn't lump the cat into but I hate dropping names, man. You know what I'm saying? But I just say, hey, man, the similarity was crazy eerie. And so, when the Atlanta train jumped up, it kind of filled the void and took it to another level, a level that I wasn't, it took it way further than I was looking at taking it. But you also have to remember that I wasn't on a crunk wave, you know what I'm saying, alternative wave, and nothing like that. I was on a reality wave with crunk music in it. You understand what I'm saying? So, basically, if I have to, put a finger on what I was trying to do, because my thing was a concept called new wave funk or new age funk. and it was basically sampling Al B. Sure, Keith Sweat, Guy, stuff like that, but putting heavy bass off into it. So a lot of those particular type of samples. So crazy as it sound and hard as it sound to imagine, the sound that we was trying to create was probably very similar to Jermaine Dupri. You know what I'm saying? Very similar to a Jermaine Dupri type style. So it was kind of like, when you listen to me as a youngster, I was kind of like a Bow Wow on steroids. Bow Wow mixed with Spice One. You know what I'm saying? Telling stories, a lot of violence, but it's a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? On some jamming ass beats that you familiar with hearing. That I could hear hip hop coming off of very pop, very mainstream sound. So anyway, with that being said, ATL took flight and the Lil Jon craze and all that. Man, I couldn't have foreseen that. You know, yeah, I couldn't have foreseen that in a million years. But back to what I was saying, yeah. So what you see, and we are from the South, man. So basically, I still didn't really take heed to a lot of it. But what started happening was everywhere I would go, man, I would start hearing I would start hearing some intimate things about conversations I would have with close friends of mine or whatever, and I would hear it cloaked in interviews. You know what I mean? In all sorts of different kind of places. And I started saying, "Hey, man, this starting to get a little close. A little too close. It's starting to feel kind of weird." And so it was. I'll never forget. It was around the time. Let me see. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. You had Yin Yang Twins and Banner come out with the Run Girls track, and I know Luda had that number one spot, which it was one of my favorite cuts, man. It was kind of old, but it still was getting a lot of play, and I used to love that song, man. Just it's just getting my spirit, just the energy. I love the way the bass line, the drum would hit, boom, boom. Make me, jump out my chest a little bit. But I wasn't looking at it from a spiritual aspect. It was just a nice song, man. Give me hype. And by the way, I'm not a real Luda fan, man. I just like good music. But I remember, man, G Unit was hot, and they put out Game. And Game, I was a big G Unit supporter, man. Man, I was stuck to them boy like glue. Matter of fact, that Game album was probably, it was one of my favorite albums by far, man. A long shot. But I was looking at the little video that Game put up. What was rest in peace to his partner, Fo Bent. Billboard, his name was Fo Bent. Bent sent, Bent, the B word for, the B version of sent, Fo Bent. Maybe I got it wrong or whatever, but, I was looking at the RIP Fo Bent, and I heard the nigga say my name, man, in the video. Him and Young Buck was saying something like, "Yeah, we're looking for the boy, whoop to whoop, somebody that we can beat up on." It would have been cute, but that was like all I needed to cap off the fact that this shit is coming toward me, right? And so you would think that's a positive thing. This video gonna be a lot longer than I expected, because I haven't even touched the surface on what I wanted to get to, man. I'm going all kind of places, man, and really probably screwing it up. But normally you would think that was your calling card to, go hard as you can to because you had the field was tilled for you. You know what I'm saying? The road was paved, what you would think, and not an easy pave, but if you get there, you know what I'm saying. The boss man. The president of the company noticed your work on the floor. So even though I hadn't done anything, and as a matter of fact, man, I was lacking so much, my skills had deteriorated to the point, to the only reason I was holding on was because, hey man, if I can just fake it till I make it, so I can earn enough money to probably go to a what is that hospital called, the Mayo Clinic, man, and get some real treatment. I mean, this like I said, delusions of grandeur, man. This is my goals, because I'm already knowing I'm dealing with some issues that's it's gonna take some specialists, man. It probably takes some money to because I had already been going to the doctors here in Texas. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of issues, man. That and mainly it was mental issues. And a lot of times, you think you got the answer. They chalk it up to testosterone and all this old kind of stuff, man. And these wasn't the problems. So, long story short, my goal was to get some money, mainly so I can better my life. You know what I'm saying? Put myself in a better situation. And that's when it started dawning on me that, hey man, you losing a lot of your mental faculties. You ain't hungry no more. You have anxiety, and the weapons that you have to fight this material world with. Your wit. What I'm saying? Your magnetic personality. What I'm saying? Your sex drive. Anything you can fight this material world with, man, because I was a dirtbag, what I'm saying, by nature. I mean, the only thing that kept my head afloat was the opportunity and the want and desire to be somebody. But if it wasn't for that, man, I probably just would have been just a regular guy that don't see no way out and don't look for no way out, man, and basically just want to play video games and have sex all day. But that ain't where my focus was. And when I started losing focus and I wanted to fall back to that, I was lacking in that department. So, with that being said, I said, man, it's time to sit back, gather your thoughts, and I had a newborn. What I'm saying? Gather your thoughts, man, and figure this thing out. But it scared me half to death, man. I had to take flight and got the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I'm saying? Now, dreams of grandeur, delusions of grandeur. You looking at being a Christopher Columbus of Dallas, Texas. As far as any part of the entertainment industry, this is uncharted water. Nobody have planted a flag here. There's been several people come through, come around, but they don't have magnetic personalities. So most people from Dallas have to flock to other cultures to embrace. But I'm straight from Dallas, been in Dallas my whole life, and got a gang of culture and a gang of swag. So I knew if I wanted to become a preacher, I could have been a T.D. Jakes type cat in Dallas. If I wanted to be a Muslim or a Black Power cat, I'd have been a fucking Minister Farrakhan, Huey P. Newton type. If I wanted to be a rapper, I'd have been a influential guy just off of the natural gifts that I just naturally have. You know what I mean? Just the things I like. You know, you understand what I'm saying, and the reason behind the attention I pay to detail. So it's a lot of things that go into it, to where I tell you that I said, man, I know if somebody invests in me, man, I could bring a lot to the table, and this is something that you just know. You understand what I'm saying? But the issue was, man, I'm starting to lose it. So right around the time, up all the way up until now, it's been like a serious brain fog, man. I couldn't get out of this brain fog. And like you heard a lot of psychiatrists, man, will take this video and totally omit. Well, their job is not to rely on blame and making excuses. Their job is to work with what you have and accept what you have. So they will say, hey man, the reason of all this paranoia and all this anxiety you're feeling is because you have too high of hopes and expectations. Well, I'm telling you that I didn't have high hopes and expectations. I had high possibilities. I was very comfortable with just doing what I do and making a living off of it. The problem was, without the talent and without the drive, you know what I'm saying? So you have to refine yourself and refine your footing. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to explain to them is you have to understand, man, this ain't the prehistoric days of war. You know what I'm saying? All these conspiracy theories that people talking about, I'm sitting here telling you, I'm amalgamating all of that into one being, one person, and I'm telling you that the shit that I was dealing with was an attack on my person. And these motherfuckers been following me, man, everywhere I go and flooding the market. Just like right now, the past 3 years, the Black Power movement have been on the rise. But in, like I say, around 2000 and really started in 2005, but it wasn't really a Black Power thing. Around 2011 is when I found out the difference between a Pan-Africanist and a 5%er. And I started pretty much getting into the Pan-Africanist mind frame, you know what I'm saying? And not to consider myself a Pan-Africanist, by the way. I liked it. I probably would have, but you have to define these things for me. I don't like people just putting me in a box and making me define things. But a lot of the stuff that they was saying at face value sounded like good information. It sounded like if every black person was to take heed to this information, we could find ourselves in a beautiful place in the world as a whole. And with that being said, that's where I was at. And that's when I start seeing the attack come back again, and the rise of the Black Power movement started jumping up all over the place. You get these Black Lives Matter type things. You get these, these cats with these YouTube channels just blow up off the chain, and all these cats with information. And let me see, I'm gonna start this motherfucker over, man. That disclaimer gonna fuck me off again, but I want to get off into some of that too. I'm at the 30-minute mark. I don't feel like just diving all in, so let me stop this bitch and start it over.